Continuing with our theme from Friday, we are going to go over the next homework assignment. This one is 1.2 last day, word problems. Everybody loves it. So, an auditorium has 12 seats in the front row. Each successive row moving towards the back of the auditorium has 2 additional seats. The last row has 80 seats. So we have a lot of seats to put in here. Write a recursive formula for the number of seats in the nth row and use the formula to find the number of seats in the 30th row. So the first thing I do is I start to write my sequence out, just so I get an idea of what's happening. The first one is 12. Then I'm adding 2 seats, 14, 16, ... all the way up to 80. Okay, it says write a recursive formula for the number of seats in the nth row. So to find the nth row, I take the row before it, u sub n minus 1, and I add 2 seats. That's my recursive formula. It says find the number of seats in the 30th row. So 12, 14, 16, 18, 20, 22, 24. You can list these all out. What you're going to realize is that whenever you hit the 10th one, you're going to be at 30. So I'm always looking for a shortcut here. So at the 10th one, I'm at 30. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Which means that I've added 18 seats. If I'm looking at having added my 10th row that's added on, it means that I've added 10 rows onto the original at this point. It means that I've added 20 seats. So for every 10 that I add on, I'm going to be adding 20 seats. Or if I'm looking at the end of every, so like that's the 10th, or u sub 10, u sub 20 is then going to be adding 18 seats or 20 seats onto this. So that's going to give me 50. U sub 30 is going to be adding 20 seats on to 50. So that would be 70. So when n equals 30, it's 70. You can list out all the terms, you get to the same exact answer. Just take you a little longer. Okay, in 1991, the annual dividends per share of a stock were approximately $17.50. That's our starting point. The dividends were increasing by $5.50 each year over the approximate dividends per share in 93, 95, and 98. Write a recursive formula to represent this sequence. So I start with my original. I'm just going to write my formula out a little bit here. 1750. Then you add 550 to that. That gives you 23. Add 550 to that. 2850. And so on and so on. I see that I'm adding 550 each time. So u sub n equals u sub n minus 1 plus 550. So this is in 91, 92, 93 is 2850. I just keep going with this. 94 would be 35. 95 would be 4050. 96 is 46. 97 would be 5150. And 98 would be 57. It asked me for 95, 93, and 98. So I'm done. Computer company offers you a job with a starting salary of 30,000 and promises a 6% raise each year. You'll notice I left a pause in there before I moved on to my next problem. My math wasn't adding up here. I can't go from 2850 plus 550. Just trying to do it in my head. That's going to give me 34, not 35, which then messes them all up. So that's 34 and 3950 and 45. This one's 50, 50, and this would be 56. Sorry about that. It was one off for each one. The way that I knew that was looking back, instead of doing 550, if you look at each two, they go up by $11. Because 550 times 2 is 11. So it's just kind of checking my work in my head and realized that this one was off. So it goes up $11 each time. Each two, which meant that I had something wrong. Okay. Now I'm ready to move on to this one. Computer company offers you a job with a starting salary of 30,000, promises 6% raise each year. Find the recursive formula to represent the sequence. Find your salary 10 years from now. Graph the sequence. So if we do 30,000 to start, that's my use of 1. 30,000. And then 6% on that, I would do 0.06 times 30,000 plus the 30,000. The other way I could do this would just be 1.06 times 30,000. Much simpler way to handle that problem. So that would give me 31,800. My next is going to be 33,708. Then 35,730.48. So it just keeps going on and on and on. My recursive formula, U sub n equals, if I use the first one, it's going to be 0.06 times U sub n minus 1 plus U sub n minus 1. If I do it the second way, it'll be U sub n equals 1.06 times U sub n minus 1. A little easier using the second method. Now I just plug this in. If I'm doing it in my calculator and I have a graphing calculator, I can just do 1.06 times 30,000, then 1.06 times answer. And then just keep doing that until I hit the 10th year. And my answer would be U sub 10 equals 50,684.37. Graphing the sequence, you can just go on Desmos and graph it. Okay, next one, arithmetic sequences, day 1. This one was a little easier, a little nicer to do, not nearly as bad. The first term U sub 1 and the common difference D of an arithmetic sequence are given. Find the fifth term, the explicit form, and sketch the graph. Not really worried about sketching the graph, especially because we can do it on our calculators or on Desmos. But I wanted you to focus in on the common difference and using it to write the explicit form. So u sub n equals, and then it's u sub 1 plus the common difference, which is 2, times n minus 1. So that's my explicit form. Find the fifth term. I can now plug that in. 5 minus 1 is 4. 2 times 4 is 8. So u sub 5 would equal 8 plus 5, which is 13. If I wanted to list those terms out, I could do that. 5, 7, 9, 11, 13. That's my fifth term. That works. Next one. U sub 1 equals negative 4. So u sub n equals negative 4 plus 5 times n minus 1. Find the fifth term, you plug 5 in for n. 5 minus 1 is 4. 5 times 4 is 20. Minus 4 is 16. So u sub 5 equals 16. U sub n equals u sub 1 plus common difference, 1/4 times n minus 1. Plug my 5 in to find u sub 5. 5 minus 1 is 4. 1/4 of 4 is 1. 4 plus 1 is 5. Kind of the same thing. Negative 6 plus 2/3 times n minus 1. 5 minus 1 is 4. 4 times 2 is 8. So I have negative 6 plus 8/3. I'm going to make my negative 6 negative 18/3 plus 8/3 gives me negative 10/3. Number 5, u sub n equals u sub 1 and plus my common difference, which is negative 1/2. So I'm just going to make this minus 1/2 instead of plus a negative, n minus 1. So in u sub 5, 5 minus 1 is 4. Half of 4 is 2. 10 minus 2 is 8. Last one, u sub n equals u sub 1, which is pi, plus 1/5 of n minus 1. Find my fifth term. I get pi plus 4/5. And I don't even know what that is, so I just put it in the calculator. Pi plus 4/5 gives me 3.94159. That's it. All right, let's do the next one. Arithmetic sequences, day 2. I didn't realize that when I'm showing people how to do the assignments that I'm writing on the assignments, so you all got a bonus there because I already showed them how to do this one. 3i, you start with I equals 1 and you just plug it in. 3 times 1 is 3. Then you move up to the next number. 3 times 2, that's 6. 3 times 3 is 9. 3 times 4 is 12. 3 times 5 is 15. This symbol here means I add them all together. So it's 15 plus 15, which is 30, 42, 45. Look at number 8. 1 over 2 to the I. First I put in a 1. That's 1/2. Put in a 2. That's 1 over 2 squared, which is 4. So that's 1 over 4. Put in a 3. 1 over 2 to the third is 1/8. And put in a 4. 2 to the fourth is 1/16. Add those together. 3, 4, 6, 8, 7 eighths. I'll show you exactly how I'm doing this here. I start by adding this one. 1/2 is the same as 2/4. Or I could start from the very beginning and make them all 16ths. That's probably the most effective way. So I have 1/16. 8 times 2 gives me 16. So it's going to be 2/16. Whatever I multiply the bottom by, multiply the top by to get a common denominator. 4 times 4 is 16, so that's 4 on top. And then here, 2 times 8 is 16, so that's an 8. Yeah, much more effective. 8 plus 4 is 12, 14, 15. My answer is 15/16. Number 9. Ooh, we're going all the way up to 16. So 2 times 16 is 32. 32 minus 3. That would give me my 16th term. But I have to start at the beginning. 2 times 1 is 2 minus 3 is -1. Move up to 2. 2 times 2 is 4 minus 3 is going to give me 1. Move up to 3. 2 times 3 is 6 minus 3 3. 2 times 4 is 8 minus 3 is 5. You notice I'm going up by 2 here, so I'm just going to keep it going. If I went to my 5th term, 2 times 5, that's 10 minus 3, 7. So now I know I'm going up by 2. So I'm just going to keep going. 6th, 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, 13th, 14th, 15th, 16th. That should be it. If I check this, 2 times 16 is 32 minus 3 gives me 29. That was my last term again. I can add all these together. If I do it, 29 minus 1, that's 28. 27 plus 1 is 28. So I have 2 28 so far. If I check this out, these are going to keep going to 28. So I have 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So I have 8 different 28s. 28 times 8 gives me 224. If I had actually just added those up, I would get exactly that, 224. Number 10. I get to go up to 75. I really shouldn't have gave you this problem on this assignment. I should have saved it for the next one. However, it is what it is. We just have to do it. So the first thing I'm going to figure out is where I can stop. 3 times 75 is 225 plus 1 is 226. So that's going to be my last term, 226. Okay, let's start with the first term. 3 times 1 gives me 3 plus 1 is 4. 3 times 2 is 6 plus 1 is 7. 3 times 3 is 9 plus 1 is 10. 3 times 4 is 12 plus 1 is 13. If you notice, I'm going up by 3 each time. So then 16, 19, 22, all the way out to I believe it's 226. 3 times 75, 225 plus 1. Yeah, 226. Much like in the last problem, if I add this first term and this last term, it gives me 230. There are 75 terms. So if I do 75 divided by 2, gives me 37.5. Multiply that by 230, it gives me 8,625. That's my answer. Okay, number 11, I kind of got started. There's 22, 24, 26. So it's going up by 2 each time. And I would go all the way up to, what's 36 times 2? That's 72 minus 8 is 64. 22 plus 64 gives me 86. Then I do half of whatever this difference is. 36 minus 15 is 21. So that's going to be 10.5 times 86. So 903. Number 12, 300 plus n minus 1 times 2. Start with 1. 1 minus 1 is 0. So it's 0 times 2. So this first term would just be 300. Plug 2 in. 2 minus 1 is 1. 1 times 2 gives you 2. This is 302. Plug 3 in. This is going to be 304. It goes up by 2 each time, all the way up to 31. So I plug 31 in. 30 times 2 is 60, plus 300 is 360. Add my first term and my last term. It gives me 660. Then this goes up to 31. So it is going to be 31 over 2. It's 15.5 times 660, which is 10,230. Arithmetic sequences, day 3. So for this one, we can use our partial sums formulas. It's going to make this a lot easier. So all I have to do is find my first term and my last term. And we were kind of using those for the last one. We just didn't have an official name on it yet. But I find my first term. Let's plug a 1 in here. 10 times 1 is 10. Minus 7 is 3. So that would be u sub 1 equals 3. Find u sub 3. That is going to be 10 times 3. 30 minus 7 is 23. Now, because these numbers are so small, is it going to be more efficient to use my partial sums, or is it just going to be more efficient to do 10 times 2, which is 20 minus 7, 13. I find it easier to do that one. So we're going to do 36, that's 39. You're done. Same thing over here. I'm only doing 1 all the way up to 5. That's not all that big of a number. So I can just do it that way. 4 times 1 is 4, plus 4 is 8. So my first term is 8. 4 times 2 is 8, plus 4 is 12. It's going to go up by 4 again. 4 times 3 is 12, plus 4 is 16. Now I'm at my fifth term. So that's 20, 36, 56, and 80. Done. Number 3. This one's getting a little bigger. I don't want to do all those terms, so I'm going to use my formula. So I'm going to find my first term. 3 times 1 minus 1, that's 2. I'm going to find my last term, u sub 10. So that's going to be 3 times 10, which is 30, minus 1, is 29. And then that's over the number of terms. Sorry, not the number of terms. We are doing this number up top. So that would be 10 over 2 times u sub 1 plus u sub 10. That's 31 times 5, which is 155. This one I'm only going up to 4, so I'll just go ahead and do it, especially when the first term is 0. Second term is 1. Third term is 2. And the fourth term is 3. 2 plus 3 is 5, plus 1 is 6. Number 5. I'm really only doing terms 4, 5, 6, and 7, so I'm going to stick with the original way. 5 times 4 is 20. 20 minus 15 is 5. U sub 5. 5 times 5 is 25, minus 15 is 10. Five times 6 is 30, minus 15 is 15. You can probably guess that u sub 7 is going to be 20. Add these together. 20 plus 30 is 50. Number 6, we're going from 5 to 9. So u sub 5 equals 4 times 5, which is 20, plus 5 is 25. U sub 6 would be 4 times 6, which is 24, plus 5, that's 29. U sub 7 is going to be 4 times 7, 28, plus 5, that's 33. If you haven't been able to tell yet, we're going up by 4s. Forgot to push a button. So that's 165. All right, that's it for this. If you have any questions, show up for the Google Meet, and good luck on the last homework and your quiz. Your quiz will be a combination of all these assignments. Not nearly as long, but still.